Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Vasishtam Shaktim Chatatputra Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam Cha Hastamalakam Cha Shishyam Tam Todakam Vartika Karamanya Asmadgurum Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purana Namalayam Karunalayam Mami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krudo Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidparam Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Sorry. I think we are in 311. Correct? 311. Okay. Read 311. Dehatmana samstita eva kami vilakshana kamayita katam syat adorta sandana parattvameva veda prasaktya bhavabandha hetuhu. Kami. Kami means Kamin. Kamin Shabda, in the Pradama Vibhakti become Kami. Like Swamin becomes Swami. E, it is Dirgha. Jatin become Jati. Balin become Bali. Malin become Mali. So Kami means Kamin. Kamin means one who has Kama. Who is the person of desire? Dehatmana samstitaha eva Kami. That is a definition of a desireful person. Only one who believes himself to be the body alone can be a person of desire. Vilakshanaha, when one does not have that, Kamayita katam syat, there is no possibility of greed when a person does not think of oneself as body. It is interesting, when we are sick, we want this body, when it is sick, let me get rid of this. At that time, we do not have any other desire other than getting better. When you are sick, having cold, cough, which you cannot tolerate because this body has to go through this. I'll ask you, do you want some Rasagulla? How about some ice cream? ना कुछ नहीं चाहिए अभी पैसा. Give me some medicine. I'll get rid of this. This very body, otherwise demanding so many things, when it itself is a problem, then you don't feel like feeding it. One of our Swamijis used to say, most problems are created by people who are healthy. When your body is healthy, your mind starts to run. Do this, do that, do this, do that. Once that body has become a problem, suddenly you will find that you have no other interest. Please cook, keep kare. Let just keep this okay now. So it is better to get sick to avoid the desires than being healthy and run after desires. Right? You ask anybody who is having some major physical problems, they are not interested in anything else. They say, let me just get rid of this thing. Moment that is done, once the body has become healthy, then shuru hota hai. Everything else will start. So, dehatmana samstitah eva kami. And when vilakshanaha, meaning dehatma bhav nahi chet, na chet, kama ita kadam syat. Where is greediness then? So therefore, arthahadaha arthasandhana paratvameva, arthasandhana paratvam, running after the sense object alone, beta prasaktya bhavabandha hetuhu. So beta prasaktya, because of the duality created. Mujhe ye chahiye, that I want. Why you want? Because it is different from me. Only with that I am complete. Only with that I'll be happy. Only with this I'll be happy. This kind of Veda prasakti, attachment to the other things. Veda prasaktya bhavabandha hetuhu. That is what is the cause of bondage. So the bondage does not start away from you. Here itself it starts. Our bondage starts from I. This is me. And as I said in the last session, I remember, until you wake up from that sleep, there is no concept of hunger, thirst. Is it not? Previous day you couldn't eat properly. Let us say that you are tired of cooking or nothing is there. It doesn't matter. Tomorrow I'll have breakfast. Slept. You have slept for 6 or 8 hours. There is no hunger at all. Right? Moment you wake up, is it not at that very moment, hungry I am. So where was the hunger before you woke up? If hunger belonged to the body, you should have known that before also. But until you identify with the body, hunger is not there. Hunger you is not even noticed. So this strong identification is the ego. The ego, as soon as you wake up, the first thing that it does is, I am the body. It starts with that. And all demands of the body becomes immediately to be fulfilled. So therefore, here, this entire portion is about what? How to conquer this ego, which is the major. So action, thoughts and vasana. So how he will explain how this is to be done, continuing in 312. Karya pravartanad bija sapravriddhi paridrishyate karyanashad bijanashah tasmat karyam nirodayet कार्य प्रवर्धनात् बीज प्रवृद्धि परिदृश्यते Karyanashat bijanashah tasmat karyam nirodayet. In Vedanta, we always say Karana nivritya karya nivrittihi. Usually, what we say, remove the cause, effect also will be removed. If there is a sickness, and the doctor would say, "Oh, what is the reason why you are sick? Let me look at the first symptom, cough or fever or whatever. And then, what is the cause for this? You will go into the cause. What could be the one which you did? Or what is happening in your body? Let me look into it. So after the report and all comes, then you'll know, oh, you have congestion inside. There is a lung is not properly functioning, whatever, breathing problem, whatever it is. So they go into the cause of a problem and then remove the cause so that the effect also eventually get removed. Here the interesting thing is Shankaracharya says, let us do the other way around. What? Karya nivritya karana nivritti. Okay, Sama Buga. How is that karya nivritya karana nivritti? Meaning, remove the effect, the cause will die. So, this is a beautiful karya prabardhanat bija pravrittihi paridrishyate. He gives an example. If you let us look at a tree. A tree is there. Now, tree came from a seed. Originally, it was a seed. Then it became a tree. Now, what does the tree produce? More seeds. So, if I can stop the tree, which is an effect, if we can make the tree stop the seeds, then there will not be any more further multiplication of the trees. Right? So, karyanashat, when we destroy the effects, bijanashaha, the seed is destroyed. Tasmat, therefore, karyam nirodayet. Therefore, stop the effects. Now, this is an interesting approach because many people say, oh, I want to know the cause of the problem. First, to stop the effect of the problem. So, that is why Bhagavan Krishna also said, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina. Meaning, if your mind is running after the objects of the world, first thing you should do is remove the objects from your proximity. Vishayanuchintanam nirodayet. Remove the habit of going after the Vishayas. Even as he explained, Indriyani paranyahuhu indriyebhya param manaha manasutta para buddhi buddher atma mahan paraha. It is Upanishad also says that. So, than the sense object, the sense organs are great. Than the sense organs, mind is great, subtle and powerful cause. Than the mind, buddhi is powerful. Than the buddhi, it is atma. But interesting thing is, in one place it is said, Indriyebhya parahi arthaha. Right? What do we see? Vishayas are there, objects are there. Objects are there perceived by the senses. Eyes to see, ear to listen, etc. So, can I experience the world without the senses? No. So, the senses are more powerful than the objects, usually. Than the senses, the mind. Because thought alone makes the senses go towards that. Than the mind, the buddhi, the intention. Intention makes the mind have the thought, and the thought makes the senses to go there, and senses are in touch with the objects. Now he says, Indriyebhya parahi arthaha. Why? See, if the Vishayas are not there, can the senses will go out? That's it. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina. If I decided to stop the senses when the objects are not there, so you are in a place, especially when we go to Kailash, etc., you don't get masala dosa and all those things. You get probably some dal, some this and that small things. So after 15 days, they're starving, they want to eat something. But is it not you survived even without them? So I can survive without really the satisfying the demands of the mind, but we don't. So when the external objects are not available, there is a possibility of there is control of the senses also. So here the example is given. What is the example? Tree has already come from the seed, but can you stop the tree making more seeds? Yes. So that there would be no more further production. So that is why he says Karyanashat Bijanashat. So that's why we'll see in the commentary here. Loke Karya Pravardhanad Karyasya Ankuradehe Prakarshena Skanda Shaka Upashakadi Rupena Vardhanat Upachayat Bija Pravriddhihi. When a tree starts to grow, it starts to become stuff. First it will be a small sprout. Then comes the little branches, the leaves. Then further stronger branches, sub-branches. Then leaves and flowers and then fruit and then producing seed. So this is called the vriddhi. It is called the growth. So paridrishyate bija abhave tada vriddhehe asambhavat. When the seed is no more, we don't allow the tree to grow to that extent of producing the seeds, then there is no more further production of trees. So, for example, it says, Khidadi Bhakshite Bije Ankuradinam Anutpatte. Is it not if the seed is eaten away by an animal? There's no more question of further anything coming out of it. Small insects come and destroy that fruit. Seed is also destroyed, let us say, it's consumed. Then thereafter there is no possibility of further production of the tree and its branches. Ata ekamapi bijam dharani salila, even one seed, if it falls on the ground, ekamapi jijam dharani, in that earth, salila sanyoga dohadina samyak pravriddham, when it is further fertilizer is put or water is given and sunlight is, all that, samyak pravriddham ankura patra skanda shaka pushpa pala rupena vriddhim prapya sahasrashaha bijani janayati iti paridrishyate. One seed is sufficient, it will start producing the big tree, and then from the tree more flowers and more fruits and more seeds. So, Karyanashat Bijanashopi Ankuradi Nimittasya Bijasyeva Nashaha Punaha Phala Anutpatya Bijani Kutastyani. So therefore, when that bija is removed by removal of the stopping the growth of the tree, the example is for us to understand adha karyam vishayanu chintanam. Ego expresses in the form of seeking the thoughts about the object. Karyam vishayanu chintanam bhavati chet vikareshu pratamo yo ahankaraha tam vina naiva bhavati. Vishayan chintana buddhya bija bhuta ahankaraha vruddha jnaya. By the remembrance or thoughts about the sense objects, ahankara becomes more and more strongly growing. Yesterday I was in somebody's house for their housewarming ceremony. There's so many people in that house. I said it's not housewarming, it is house swarming. It's a swarm of people there. Interesting thing is, it's a new, what do you call, new settlement somewhere in Chino Hills. Next house also had the Griha Pravesh at the same time because it's a Pasanta Panchami as an observation. And these are also the group from a particular part of India, they are also from the same part of India. There were at least around 300, 400 people put together. And it's a cul-de-sac. Cars were parked in 3 levels. Once the level of car be in front of you, another level of cars, and the third level of cars. I don't know how the neighbors were able to manage it, because then I asked the person, you are parking, triple parking, not double, but triple parking. The neighbors have no complaints. Neighbors are also Indians only. There is nobody to question them. We already informed them that we will be parking like this. 200 cars there in that place. All right. So I went inside. Then we had this. Then he wanted to say, I want to show you the house. So I mean, so I went there. And they showed the master bedroom. Every room was occupied by the kids, small children from age 6 onwards up to 15 or so. I am not even exaggerating this. Every child, no child was talking to another child. I'm joking, 100 of them. Nobody talks to each other. I want to take a video of it. Everyone in the same room, one room, in every room. There are so many children, around 10, 20, every one of them lying down. I said, now you see, if that particular device is not there, what will they be doing? Either they will be talking or jumping around, playing, etc. Right? No, what is that? So I told him, why don't you just remove this? Swamiji, we cannot do that. It's the parents have given to them. Now, how many parents you will go and tell them to remove all these things? And even if you do that, they will protest because they have nothing else to do. See, nothing else to do. Their mindset is what? Nothing else to do. So, ahankar ke, so now you see the example here. Ye ahankar ka pravritti hai. Meaning, identification with an object of pleasure strengthens the ahankar in such a way that without that I cannot live. Full stop. I cannot live without this. Who created it or what created it? Continuous engagement in that very particular act. Is it not true? Is it not true that continuous engagement without any kind of supervision? And parents say, oh, only in the weekends they can do this, let them do it. It is like, I don't want to smoke anymore, but weekends I will take 3 packets. There is no excuse there. If you are wanting to stop smoking, then you should not even eat during the weekend also. So, continuous engagement, this is called Vishayana Chintanam. That's what he is saying. See. Karya Nasha Bija Nashobi Ankuradi Nimittasya Bijasya Vanasha Vanaga. Okay. Karya Vishayanu Chintanam, Karyam Bhavati Chet, Vikareshu Pradamo Ahankara Tambina Naiva Bhavati. Vishayanu Chintana Buddhya Bija Buddha Ahankara Vruddha. It is strengthening and growing of ahankar takes place by continuous feeding of it, by constant association with objects of pleasure uncontrollably. After some time, you don't even think it is bad. After some time, you don't think that it is you are not doing the right thing. Because everybody does. As far as the child is concerned, if you say stop, everybody is doing. And if you tell the parent, why didn't you stop them? All parents are allowing. So, you see the justification? So, Tambina naiva bhavati vishaya. Evam viveka vijnana nashito api. Even as the ahankara, even with the correct knowledge, even appears to have been destroyed, anadikala pravrittataya, because of it being there for a long time. This ahankara, even though the knowledge is spotlighting on it, this is not correct. Yet, because of it being so long has been there, vasanatmana shishyamana sada pratyak drishtya atmani nishta abhave. When our mind is not turned towards the self which is within oneself, when it is always habituated to turn away into the world alone, Vriddhim prapya, being growing very steadily, punaha samsaram apatayet. Again it falls back into samsara. Ataha nirantara brahmanishtaya apramadena stitahu vishayanuchintanadehe anavakashat. So therefore, that's why Bhagavan also said in Gita that yato nischarati manaschanchalam astiram tatastato niyamyetad atmanyeva vasham nayet. Whenever you feel or understand the mind is coming out and going externally, extrovertedly, there and then, don't wait. There and then you have to cut it. If you wait, the speed is so much. Think about it, it's coming with such a force. Until if you have not stopped at the beginning itself, after some time it is difficult to control it. Because it takes a momentum, it already gathered the momentum. So, yato means whenever, nischarati manaha chanchalam astiram, tataha niyamya, there and then, controlling Atmani eva vasham nayet, bring it back to Atman. Therefore, he says here, Nirantara brahmanishtaya apramadena, without making any error, stitau vishayanuchintanadehe anavakashat, with no room for any other thought about the objects, vasanatmanapi na shishyate, tasmat karyam nirodayet. Vishayanuchintanam na kuryat. Therefore, purposely make sure, intentionally make sure that mind is not gravitating towards the objects of pleasure. This way, Bhagavan also says, Tasmat tvam. First thing, Adau. What is that first? Indriyanam. Of the sense organs, withdrawal is very important. Sasvat tvam indriyanyado niyamya bharatarshava atmanam prajahihyenam. Tasmat tvam indriyanyado. First of all, you have to make sure that indriyani, sense organs, to be controlled very carefully. Yamyabara darshapa papmanam prajahihyenam jnana vijnana nashanam. Prajahi, remove, destroy, papmanam, the sinful one, jnana vijnana nashanam, the destroyer of the knowledge. Continuing here, tasya samsara sampatakatvam upapatayati vasana iti. Now, where does the ahankar has its origin? We have to see that How it is expressing here? Vasana vriddhita karyam karya buddhya cha vasana vardhate sarvata pumsah samsaro na nivartate. Vasana vriddhita karyam karya vruddhya cha vasana vardhate sarvata pumsah samsaro na nivartate. Samsaraha na nivartate. The transmigratory existence will never come to an end. When vasana vriddhitaha karyam. So increase of the vasanas increases the effect. Vishaya chintanam na karyam, it is said before. Do not engage in the Vishayanuchintanam na karyam, not to be done. And Vishayanuchintanam or thinking about the objects are coming from where? Prior experiences. A person who did not have the impression of the past about an object will not engage into that pursuit. You know, I had, when I was in the school and the college, etc., I had my friends who are chain smokers. Meaning, they put chain in the air. There's a chain smoking. I was pretty much with them, but not even once I had. I have told you this also before. After 30 years when I met them also, still they are doing the same thing. Recently also I met them, just last month, previous month, in December. I went to one of my friends' house. I was talking to him. Suddenly he went into the balcony. In India you have the balcony. So where did he go? I was talking to his wife. Suddenly, where did he go? Swamiji, He, as soon as he finished lunch with me, he had to go out. So I looked at him. I was behind some curtain or something in there. So I didn't want to go and disturb him. When he came back, where were you? You know it. So it is so difficult for that person to ever think of, not even after 30 years also, you have not learned this. So I asked him, you have not changed in 30 years. You are doing the same thing which you did when we were in the university. I have not changed, yes. Yes, I told you, that's what. You didn't change. He said, you also. I said, I didn't change for good. You are not changed for bad. It's question of perception, That's what his contention was. Now, you see, many times they said, only once you had, then you will know the pleasure of it. Thank God my wisdom said not even once. Because even if you had even once, the second time you don't feel regret. That's a problem there. Once I had. Second time only. The second time when you do it, you don't feel guilty about it. Third time, less guilt. Fourth time, much less. Fifth time, pleasure. Sixth time, habit. Then afterwards, there is no question of even thinking twice, should I or should I not? It never stops. So giving room, this is avakasha, giving room for it, even once. So that first time when you smoke, it definitely creates an impression. Deeper impression because you never had it before. So that particular impression that it creates is alive, right? On the top of your surface of the personality. So second time when you do it, it becomes deeper. Third, further deep. Then it starts to repeat itself. So that is why it said, even a very little groom you give. So vasana vridditaha karyam karya vriddhya cha vasana. So vasana creates that particular effect. And when you continue to pursue that effect called Vashya Chintanam, remembrance of the objects of pleasure, further the vasana gets solidified. Yata ekopi spulingaha sukshmamopi. Like now, this example very well applicable now. One small spark of fire is sufficient. Ekaspulingaha. Ekaspulingaha sukshmamopi. Even small spark. Shushka trunasya संयोगात वृद्धिं प्राप्य महान अग्निं भूत्वा सर्वं वनमेव दहेत्. One single spark of fire is sufficient. When it comes in contact with the dry grass, how many thousands of acres are burnt? No. How many billions of worth of building were burned? One spark is sufficient, isn't that? Example is very relevant now. एवं वासनात्मना स्थितः अपि अहंकारः विषयानुचिन्तनेन आत्मानं स्वरूपतः प्रच्छाव्य deviating from one's own true self स्वयं तत् प्रतिफलन बलेन अनेक आकारेण परिणाममानः जातं विवेकमपि न्यवकुर्वन्, even destroying your ability to discriminate, vivekat pragiva, as though like before where you were, before you got the knowledge, before you were given the self-knowledge, whatever was there before, Pranti paramparam kama karmadini vidanvan swayam pravardamanaha nivritta prayamapi samsaram puna pravartayet. Even though apparently the samsara is removed by the knowledge, but again it will start. So never take it for granted the knowledge will completely destroy your ahankar. It won't. It is seed level, even if it is there a little bit, like a small spark of fire. Once it has given chance. That's why Bhagavan said, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam. If the taste is there, little taste. So that's why when I said in Kashi you should give up the whatever. Swamiji, how long? For life. Don't say for 1 year. So you will be counting days, 364 days, 363 days, 362 days, 360 days. Until the 0 day. Wow! Jump onto it. Finished 1 year, I finished. That will come with a greater force now. Next 1 year I will eat Rasgulla. 1 year was over. Every day Rasgulla. So by just turning away from the objects of pleasure does not by itself mean that it has gone. Rudimentary level, it is there, sitting there, waiting to come out. Like a seed will wait for the right occasion. Once the water is put, sunlight, slowly it will start. It will come to manifest. Samsaraha punaha pravartayat ataha apramadena, without making any error, bhavitavyam iti aha vasana vridditaha iti. Karyam vishaya chinta. What is the karya effect here? Vishaya chinta. Swarupa ananda vismritya vishaya labhartam prayatnaha. So when you are turning away your attention from that inner bliss and seeking outside, that is called karyam, the effect. When you do the prayatna, effort to get that pleasure out of that particular relationship or contact with the sense objects, alabe, when you don't get, dukkham. Why people become dukkhi? I didn't get this, I didn't get that, I didn't enjoy that, I didn't get that. So it need not be only objects. Uh, oh, my sister never called me. Why you have to cry about somebody being busy with whatever their life is? She doesn't call me, she rejected me. Swami Vivekananda said, before the world rejects you, you kick it. Why you are worried about that? If somebody doesn't want you, thank you, no disturbance from you. So when you do not get what you are seeking, alabe dukkam. See, interesting thing is, when somebody dictates your joy, that person has a greater power than you. When they, whether they are in touch with you or not, if you are happy, you are stronger than them. I didn't call you. Yeah, you didn't call me. You are not unhappy about it? Not at all. I am happy with myself. Why should I be more? But not that I don't care about what you are calling or not. But you cannot dictate my happiness. I am happy whatever condition I am. You don't call me. Maybe you are busy. I understand. So when you become stronger like that, the world cannot do anything to you. But when we become victim of situations, oh, he didn't call, he didn't smile at me, she didn't do it, we are allowing the world to take over our situation, our mind. So, alabe dukkam, labe harshaha, harshe darpaha, darpe dharma adikramanam. See, this is the, see, beautifully you put it. When you don't get it, there is dukkam. When you get it, there is labh, harsha, that meaning excitement. Then harshe darpa, then you become proud, arrogant. Darpe dharma adikramana. When you are very proud, you don't care about dharma. Dharma means what is the right thing to do, because you are arrogant like Ravana. Tena diyo malinyam. Therefore, your mind gets polluted. Tena punaha atma grahana asamartya abhava. Grahana samartya abhava. By when the mind has become polluted, there is no ability to hold on to the self. Tatahascha sarvada dehadi atmatvam. Therefore, resulting in total identification with the body. Tena jara marana janma adi rupa samsara viccheta iti pumsaha avichetaha. Therefore, thereafter there is no ability to cut and destroy the samsara in the form of old age, death, birth, constantly. Iti pumsaha samsaraha na nivartate iti uktam. See, this portion is important because these are all sadhanas, It's no more just a theory. It is more about where we have to pay attention very carefully. Even a small slip is a great fall. Samsara bandha vichityai tadvayam pradahetyatihi vasana. There is a difference in the patantara here. There is one last second line. Vasana vridhiretabhyam chintaya kriyaya bahihi samsara bandha vichityai tadvayam pradahetyatihi vasana vridhiretabhyam chintaya kriyaya bahihi. The second line in this version, vasana preryade hyantaha, that part as the third quarter is like that, and Chintaya Kriya Bahi, that is same. So, samsara bandha vichityai, for the sake of destruction of the bondage caused by samsara, tad dvayam pradahet yatihi. Yatihi, a man, a sadhaka, must pradahet, destroy, burn. Tat dvayam, two of them. What are the two? What are the two things that are to be removed? Chinta and Kriya. Pradahet. So here it is. There are two causes of the Vasana Vriddhi. Vasana Vriddhi is two caused by two things. One, thought and action. Chinta and Kriya. So if the objects of pleasure, when it is starting to come in the form of a thought itself, if you do not stop it, that thought will force you to engage in action. That is the reason why Gurudev says there are two main causes for the increase in vasanas. Continuous thinking of the object, chinta, and acting upon the sense objects in the world outside, kriya. So, many people say that I will not do the action, let the thought be there. No, it will force you to act. It begins from there only, in thinking. So he who subjectively contemplates upon the sense object but apparently restricts the sense indulgent is called hypocrite. That's what Bhagavan Krishna already said that. Karmendriyani sanyamya yaste manasasmaran indriyarthan vimudatma mityachara suchate. A person merely controls the external action but mentally thinking about it is called hypocrite. It is like when you're driving a car, there are two pedals, two things. One is accelerator, another is brake. Now, if you press both of them, what will happen? But it will destroy the engine. You are giving acceleration, but not allowing the vehicle to move. Right? The motor is running, but you are stopping forcefully. If you remove the feet from the accelerator, it will naturally slow down. The brake is more effective also when you press it, because it's already lost its momentum, and then you press the brake, it will stop. But if you keep the pedal on with the foot on the accelerator, and then press the brake also, it will destroy the car within no time. In the same way, karmendriyani sanyamya, there's a brake, putting a brake. But mind is going on to that. Yaste manasasmaran. Mind is still there. That is called mityachar, hypocrite. So, by the Gita Acharya, that's what it says. Character consists, no doubt, in right acts, but they are built with right thoughts. Subjective thoughts and objective actions both create vasana limitations, which drag the ego into new births and deaths. These two are to be cut asunder in order to end the tragedy of transmigration. These two forces prompt each individual to take up again and again an appropriate physical body to continue the stupidity of living for sheer sense gratifications. He who wants to cut off this endless stream of sorrow, the non-stop dash from stupidity to stupidity, has to end these two prompting forces. Chinta and Kriya are themselves, no doubt, the effects of powerful vasanas, and they create a fresh crop of more powerful vasanas. If you want to get away from these powerful vasanas, you must destroy these two. So that is the reason why the discipline of living is again and again emphasized in our Shastra. Why those values are important? Check on the thoughts more than the action. At the beginning itself, should be a constant guarding over the thoughts. Because if we entertain the thoughts and not act, it does not solve the problem. It will not act today, tomorrow it will start coming. At a given weak moment, the thought will find its way to action. You may postpone today or this moment. On a weak moment, chalo bhai, एक दिन, one sweet खाएंगे, इसमें क्या होगा? बस हो गया. You've fallen from there. The pressure is so much. So, in the spiritual path, there are moments when one has the feeling, in fact, a hallucination that one has reached somewhere. There are no doubt great peaks, but in those apparent heights, we cannot permanently remain in perfect safety. We may slip again. If we look back even once, back means towards object, emotion, thoughts, world. When the mind and intellect have turned towards reality, never again look back. Once you become an extrovert, the ego at once precipitates the sense objects crowd around you for attention, and terrible vasanas are created. You fall again into samsara. All sadhana become impotent, futile, and great waste. So without looking back, go ahead with a constant forward gaze. Don't look back. Don't say that yesterday, why don't you go back to that point? When you are climbing a very steep, don't look back. If you fall off immediately, it's okay. Whatever is behind. I am a Hindu, Swamiji. To be Hindu means behind you. No. Don't be behind. Keep moving forward only. Don't look behind. Sometimes the seeker feels very lustful. This is caused by himself. There is no other cause. He himself allows the lustful thought to rise up in him and encourages it. Then this thought forces you into lustful activity, and the two together create lustful vasanas, tying you down. They blockade your march and you get helplessly stranded. When a lustful thought comes, do not encourage it. Maintain the attitude of a witness towards it. Be fully conscious of it and chant silently, Namo Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. So bring in at once the divine thought to replace that habitual thought of going towards the sense objects. Become a witness at once by invoking the name of the Lord. Seeing the pure body and serene face of Lord Buddha, a prostitute felt tremendous attachment. She went to the place where Buddha was resting for the night with fruits and other offerings. As she knocked at the door, Lord Buddha opened it and stepped out. He saw a beautiful, richly dressed girl standing with offering of fruits at that time untimely hour. Obviously, she had come to offer them to the Lord. But at what, midnight? There was no hesitation. Gautama said, Mother, what can your son do for you? Poor woman who came with burning passion froze to the spot. So at once he had changed his attitude. Of course, he has mastered himself. Therefore, even though that particular moment he could have fallen for the thought, for she was there right in front of him, but he changed his attitude. Mother, what can I do? There it ended. She cannot do anything further. Your son, you say, he addressed her. So that's the reason why Yati hi prayatnashilaha puman samsara bandha vichityai samsara hedu bhuta dehatmatvadi sakala bandha vinashaya tat dvayam vasana tat karya rupam dvayam pradahet prakarshena pasmi kuryat. Destroy the thought and action. Yata basmi bhudam bijam na rohati. Like the burnt seed cannot anymore grow. Tata kuryat. In that way you do it. Karunaya tat vritti nimittam tan na anasha upayam cha katayeti vasana idi. So with great love, he again points out vasana chintaya bahihi kriyaya cha. हि यस्मात् अंतर प्रेर्यते अतः प्रदहेत् पूर्वं कार्यशब्देन कथितं स्फुटयति चिन्तया मानस्या बहिक्रियया च इति अंतश्चिंता बहिशरीर आदिना क्रिया. So within you there is an activity called thinking. Externally there is an activity called doing. Both need to be taken care. Chit pradibimba bala abhave jadasya manasah kriyajanaka chinta samartyam nasti. Without the presence of the consciousness within your mind reflecting, there is no possibility of thought arising. See, thought, mind is not chetana. Mind is not consciousness. Mind is having a borrowed consciousness. Like a mirror, when it reflects the light, it is not its own, it is borrowed light. So that's why we chant, we do the particular kirtanam called Baro Krishnaya. So Baro Krishna in Kannada means come. Baro means come. But actually we borrow Krishna's presence, borrow Krishna. Krishna we only borrow him. So, kriyajanaka chinta samartyam nasti. So, the ability of the thought to convert itself to become an action also not possible if mind is jadam. Right? Mind is borrowed consciousness. Tatra chit pradibalam cha ahankara dwara eva. Pradibalanam. Even that very reflection is nothing but ahankar. Jadasya sharirasya karma karana samartyamapi mana adidvara chit anupraveshadeva tasma chintaya bhikriya cha sukshmatmana stitah ahankaraha vriddhim prapte iti vijnayam. So this ahankara, which is coming in the form of reflection of consciousness leading to thought and action, when we continue to do thought and action, that ahankara is going to be more and more strengthened only. In this way you should understand. So he spends a lot of time on explaining this because this is the sadhana. This is called jnana sadhana. There is no action involved, but actually it is action involved. What action? Not to act. That is action involved. Yeah. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkhavat bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.